In this video, I am hosting a collaboration with a whole bunch of other creators, and we're to make Christmas ornaments. Each video in the description below, which there will be a playlist, will have every creator creating some type of ornament. We're going to make 3 different ornaments today. I have some that are origami, some that you don't even sew, and then we're going to take a cookie cutter and create an ornament for our tree. Hello and welcome. I am Jackie with Jackie Russell Creates, where we talk about everything quilting or sewing. I give tips, tricks, techniques so you can do the next sewing project or quilting project with ease. So let's get started on making these ornaments. So to make this origami ornament, you need 2 pieces of fabric. You're going to cut out an 8-inch diameter circle. You can go bigger if you want a bigger ornament. I'm just going at the 8-inch. You want to put right sides together, and then we're going to sew a 1/4 inch around, leaving an opening so we can turn. So let's stitch around. And when I stitch on a circle, I line up the edge with my 1/4 inch on my plate. I have a little mark, and it helps, thank you, sugar. It helps keep it straight with my 1/4 inch. You'll want to back stitch at the beginning and the end because you're leaving that opening to turn. And you want to make sure that it's enforced and don't come unraveled when you turn it. And I'm just leaving a couple inches. And now we just want to turn it right sides, and then you're going to press it and press open or press all the seams around. If it seems to be a little bulky, you can snip the curves, but I didn't have an issue with it being coming, out the way it should. And I'm just using my finger now, but you can use, a poker or a turning stick. Just make sure you don't poke through your seams. And then you're also going to make sure that you press this down the 1/4 inch, so you'll have it when we go to do the next part. Now I like to pin my opening closed, and you're just going to do a top stitch around the outside, about an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch, and you're going to back stitch at the beginning and the end, a couple stitches. I'm just using white thread, but you could use some contrasting thread on your ornament to help it give some dimension. Okay, so we have it sewn together. You're going to need a needle and thread. You're going to fold it in half. You can press or put pins there, and you're going to fold it so it's in a 1/4. And I'm going to take these first 2, and I'm going to start with my needle on the inside so it hides the knot, and just kind of give a whip stitch to tack these 2 together. Then you're going to bring up this other corner into the middle, and then you're going to as close as you can to the center stitches. Whip these two edges together by using a couple stitches. And then we're going to whip this side together. And then you're going to bring up this center and do the exact same thing as close as you can to those center stitches. Just a couple. Then you're going to tie it off. I just run my needle through a couple stitches. Wrap the thread around my needle a couple times and pull tight. And that's going to give you a knot to help secure it in place. And I do that a couple times. And then we're going to trim it. Then I'm just going to kind of flatten it down, pushing out from the center. I'm trying to get that as close as I can into the middle. And you're going to have something that kind of looks like this, and then you're just going to take each corner and fold it over.
Da 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 da, making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find.
And then you give this a little press to help hold those folds down. And then you would embellish with a button or something in the center. I used a button on this one. I just kind of stitched it through a little bit. This one I used the yo-yo tool. If you want to learn how to use the yo-yo tools, type yo-yo in the comments below and I'll do a tutorial on that. And then I just took my pinking rotary cutter to help my ribbon from fraying. And then you just fold it in half and tack it. You can tack it onto a corner like I did there, or you can tack it on the center. You can use hot glue. You can use thread and ribbon. I use thread, needle and thread on all of mine. Okay, for this one, you're going to need your hot glue or needle and thread to be able to sew on your embellishments or attach your embellishments. You're going to need about 6 inches or so of ribbon for your hanger. I found some buttons. You can use some fabric paint to embellish. I have some scrap fabric we're going to use to decorate. You can use rickrack if you want. And all I did was take a cookie cutter and I traced it onto paper with a black marker and then made a photocopy of it and cleared things up. And so you're going to lay your batting down. You're going to need a scrap fabric and batting enough to fit the gingerbread man, which he's roughly about 6 inches. So I think I cut my fabric at 6.5 to make sure I had enough room. Next, you're going to lay down your backing fabric, and I'm using the same color for my backing and my front fabric. And you want to make sure that your background fabric is with the front or right side facing up, and then your top fabric is going to go with the right side facing down. So you want to make sure that your right sides are together, and then you have your backing. Then you want to insert your ribbon between the fabrics, but you want to make sure that the loop part is facing down. And then we're going to cut out our gingerbread man, and we're going to pin him to the layers. You could just take your cookie cutter and trace it right onto your fabric. You can Google cookie cutter shapes and find one online. And I'm going to pin him through all the layers. And you want to make sure that you leave an opening. So I'm going to leave an opening that's down here around the legs. I think that'd be the easiest spot. And then you're going to, you can trace it if you want, or I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to sew right along that edge, leaving that opening at the bottom. Now that we've sewn them, I'm going to remove the paper. And I know there were some spots that I got onto the paper, which is okay. And then you're going to just trim around your gingerbread, leaving a little bit. You can snip the curves to help it lay flatter. When you cut and clip, make sure you don't go into your stitches. And then you're going to take it in between the fabrics, and you're just going to work it through and turn it around. Then you'll go press it flat and then run a stitch around the outside to close your opening. Now that you have it stitched all the way around, you can use decorative stitching on your machine, or you can use ribbon, rickrack, whatever you would like. So I'm putting my sewing machine away, and I'm using some buttons because I thought this may be something great for my grandkids to be able to help do and decorate their own. So we're just going to use some hot glue and decorate. I also have some ribbon here, or fabric, that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to use my rotary blade and just cut some pieces, and then I'm just going to glue them on. You can stitch them down for the rickrack instead of, I didn't have any. I thought I did, and I didn't. And so instead of buying more, I just decided to use this, my blade, zigzag or pinking shears, and I'm just putting it on. I'm not even measuring how wide or anything else. But I thought these would be great for, the grandchildren to be able to decorate themselves. I will stitch them and have them all ready, and then they can pick out what they want. And this is just representing the royal icing that you would use to put on. You could do a bow, decorate it however you would like. So I have some heart button that I'm going to attach to mine. You can embroider the mouth. You can stitch a mouth. You can take a pen, a fabric pen, and draw on a mouth. And there is the gingerbread ornament. Now, to make the Scandinavian star ornament, we're going to put our sewing machine away. You're going to need a 6.5 inch square of 2 different types of fabric, and then Heat and Bond Ultra. You want the Ultra, which is in the red package, because we're not stitching. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to lay our Heat and Bond onto the back side of one of the fabrics, and you're going to press that down So the other items that you're going to need is some ribbon, roughly 6 to 9 inches, not very much. You're going to need your glue stick and glue gun, your rotary cutter, and a ruler. So we're going to let this cool, and we're going to peel off the back and attach the other fabric to it. So to pull off the backing, I just take a pen and just kind of score, or the paper backing, and then you'll be able to just pull that paper right off. And now we're going to attach the other fabric with the right side facing up. And I like to have some wax paper that encases my fabric so I don't get that heat and bond on my pressing mat or on my iron. And so we're just going to press these together to adhere them, and then we're going to let them cool. Once it's cooled, we're going to trim it up to 6-inch square. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it into 1/2-inch strips. So you'll need 12 strips. And if you line it up with your cutting mat, it's really easy to cut them. A nice sharp rotary blade really helps.
Whoa, oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 da.
Once you have them all cut, you're going to divide them into 6 sections, or sorry, 2 groupings of 6. So you need 6. And then you're going to fold 2 of them in this first pile together and just cause a crease in the middle. Then we're going to take our hot glue and put just a little dab right there in the center and put this crease right over top. And then I like to use my mat to make sure that I have them straight. Now we're going to just weave. You're going to put one on each side of that center, lining the edges up, and then you're going to glue that down, making sure to keep it straight and even. That's what you're wanting. And you're going to do the same thing on the top and the bottom. You're just going to weave in and you're going to glue it down, but make sure that your ends are straight and even. You don't want one longer than the other. And you want to make sure that you glue all 3 sections down. And then you're going to do the other group of 6 just the same way. So you have 2 partial woven crosses, I guess. What I like to do is this one I did this direction. So now I want to make sure that I have the other fabric facing up. That's just my preference, but you can do them both the same way.
Whoa, oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday.
Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your corner, so I have it looking like an X, and you're going to fold them or twist them so then you can glue the corners together. So I'm just twisting it and lining up the corners. And you're going to do that on all 4 corners on both pieces. So you're going to just fold it around so you can see the back side and glue it. So you'll have It's almost like a snowflake. You'll have a centerpiece that's not attached just yet.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories.
So now that's what it will look like.
I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me.
And now you're going to lay them together. You can lay, on this one I'm going to put the two colors together. On this one I did opposites. Then what you're going to make sure is your loop on one is with the point of the other. And then you're just going to bring the point through the loop and glue it down on all 8 points. I like to do one side first and then flip it over.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
We got all of those sides glued, so we'll flip it over and glue these ones. And you'll have a 3D Scandinavian star. And all we have to do now is attach the hanger. So I find some coordinating ribbon. This time I use red. You can use, whatever goes with your fabric. So that's what it looks like. Then you just take your ribbon and you bring it through one of those loops and tie around. And then I just tie a knot at the top. Hi, sugar, may be careful. You can make it as long as you would like. Trim off the excess. And there is the Scandinavian 3D ornament. So I hope you enjoyed making these ornaments. If you enjoy them, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Maybe share it with some of your friends and family. Be sure to check the playlist down below for the other collaborators that did DIY ornaments as well. Until then, happy quilting, my friends.